You said you spoke with Meghan that one time, but have you ever had
Well,
like a conversation? Like you said, you spoke to Harry, but like, do you feel that there's actually like a relationship that you have with these people?
I don't think I have a relationship with these people, but when Meghan talked about the press and stuff like that, and Harry talks about the press, like in my personal experience, it wasn't like that. Like every time I photographed Meghan, she's laughed, she said hello, she smiled. And that day in Toronto, she talked about me wearing a better jacket and stuff like that. Is that someone who doesn't like the press? And the funny thing about that actually is as well is that like Meghan has also posed with paparazzi. I've actually seen images of her posing and standing next to paparazzi. I can even show you a picture afterwards. She's got the photographer's got her arm around. He might have his arm around her. He's standing right next to her. I remember the picture vividly. I remember the name of the photographer. Meghan also used to organize setups where she would ask an agency, "Hey, I'm going to be turning up to a restaurant or an event. Can you photograph me coming in?" So she herself had a relationship with the press before she got into a relationship with Harry. So I feel like she, knew how to manipulate and use the media in her favor previous to being in a relationship with Harry. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty normal though, right? I think both of you guys have shot people over the years. I'm sure that have called you up and said, "Hey, I'm going to be so and so." That's a normal thing that I don't think the general public realizes, that celebrities do that to stay relevant,
But
correct?
Do you think it's interesting how you can at one point do that in your career and then it's not like a tap, you just turn it off. All right, guys, I've got to where I need to be now. I don't want anything now of me. I want to be able to control the press. And I find that interesting. Like there's been no acknowledgement of the fact that the press was used to push the agenda, to help, to raise profile. Like when I was photographing Toronto, she was really accommodating. Now, that's not the same person I saw in the interview saying that like the tabloids were vicious and the press and blah 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 blah. Like that was totally different to the Meghan that I saw
But I
in
think
20.
that's a different level though. Like that's pre being just bashed by the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I think there's one point in your career where you're like, "Oh, this is exciting. I'm coming through this. I'm enjoying this." And then there's another side where you've become so oversaturated and the world is turned against you. And you're like, "I don't want this anymore," right?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand how it could be quite intense, but I also think that like there was a lot of dramatization of the headlines. A lot of the headlines were doctored for the CBS. Is it CBS?
It was
Maybe
on
we
yeah, it
should.
was on yes, yeah.
But yeah, so there were like a lot of headlines that had been doctored and things had been edited and stuff like that. But I do think that Meghan, did face a lot of negativity. But that was I think any celebrity, unfortunately, on the public stage faces a lot of negativity. Whether you're Chrissy Teigen, whether you're John Legend, whether you're Cameron Diaz, whether you're Kristen Stewart, everyone faces some form of negativity, which is really sad that that still exists.
has Meghan tipped off photographers since she's been with Harry?
Um, I'm gonna have to say no comment.
Yeah.
No comment. Well, that's not a no.
I'm just gonna have to say no comment.
Gotcha.
That's actually really interesting.